Good afternoon, and thank you for joining this webinar session on Microsoft Dynamics 365 and Power BI. My name is Mark Duckworth and I'll be taking you through this afternoon session, and I'm joined by Gary Farrell, who's one of our principal BI consultants who specialises in data analytics and also Microsoft Power BI. So let's jump straight in and see what we're going to talk about today. We're going to start with what is Power BI. Then talk about how it relates to Dynamics 365 for those that are using it. And Gary Farrell, that's joined me here today, is going to do some demonstration on Power BI and show you how useful it is and something you should be considering for your business. And then we want to wrap up with the next steps that we recommend you take, and of course any questions at the end. If you don't have any questions, or you think of, I will have my details at the end that you can connect and contact me and we can discuss further. So let's jump in and talk about what is Power BI. So Power BI is a product by Microsoft that lets you access any data, any way, anywhere. That's Microsoft's catchphrase, and very powerful tool that as you probably are aware, even in your own businesses today, data is prevalent across all our applications and we're getting bombarded. And most companies I talk to today really have no idea what's happening in their business because there is so much data coming at them. So Power BI is a tool from Microsoft, and it's a suite of business analytics tool, and it can give you a full insight into your business. Through dashboards, you can pull data from multiple different data sources, and that's the power of it. It's not just from Dynamics 365. Gary will show us some demonstrations, but it basically, you can, if you've got data of any kind across any system, anywhere in your business, and in fact external solutions somewhere, web services from other places across the globe, you can pull data in it and then pull dashboards from that, and that's the power of it. And of course, with mobile apps, you can actually get a Power BI mobile app and you can access those same reports and dashboards from your devices, whether it's phone or tablets. So let me just explain in a bit more detail and show you that the Power BI service that Microsoft are running in their data center, right? You can connect to it from multiple different SaaS applications, and in fact, even from Excel, of course, that's one of the most used sources to be able to connect to Power BI. MailChimp, if you haven't heard about it, different marketing tools, Adobe Analytics, Google Analytics, and there's 50 plus other applications. And of course, the one today we're going to talk about a bit more in detail is Microsoft Dynamics 365 that enables you to connect in and be able to use the Power BI service. But of course, there's also a Power BI desktop application that you can run reports from and then publish them back to the Power BI service. And of course, these reports can then be accessed from laptops, phones, tablets, any device, anywhere. And of course, if you've got information within your business, you can connect to those on-site data sources. Classic example with customers for us is their financials. So whether it's Xero, whether it's MYOB, whether it's Dynamics GP, any financial applications you're using, you can connect to and pull data and crunch the numbers to get a better view of what's happening in your business. So a very powerful tool, and I probably should emphasize, and Gary will probably re-emphasize this, but you don't have to have Dynamics 365 to use Power BI. You can use it as a standalone today, but let me tell you, it works a lot better with Dynamics 365. And for those that on the call that do have Dynamics 365, if you don't, I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to know why you don't have it. But for those of you who use Office 365, you may be familiar with this interface where you can log in and get your mail and you can get different things. Again, another product that I'd like to know why you're not using it. The majority of businesses we'll deal with today, and in fact, majority of businesses in the Australian environment are using Office 365 today. And you'll notice there in these applications that sit within that, there's a Dynamics 365 icon, and there's also a Power BI icon. And so you get this included as part of your subscription. And that's the beauty of it, being owned and run by Microsoft. This is one of the value adds of going on this Microsoft solution, that you can get Power BI and then you can run reports across all your data sets. So let me just explain some of the things where it relates to Dynamics 365, and I do suggest that Gary will drill down into some of this. But as far as if you're running Dynamics 365 for sales, so that's the ability to track all your sales and your opportunities and your closed sales, etc. It enables you to drill down and find out more detail than you can get in your normal sales cycle today. I deal with so many customers on a daily basis that keep telling me they've got no clue on really what their pipeline is. They've got no clue on how their sales reps are performing. When you use Power BI, and especially tied with Dynamics 365, you get a great visual representation of what's happening in your business. And so for senior levels sales management and for executives, it helps them run the business a lot easier. Even things like Dynamics 365 for customer service. If you haven't heard of that, that's the ability to be able to service your customers. If you've got a help desk and an environment like that, you can do really deep diving analysis on all the different cases and by priority and geography, and you can understand more about what's happening in those cases. And of course, on each of these dashboards and things like Gary's about to show you in a tick, you can actually drill down and get more detailed information as you go forward. So it's not just a static top line graphical pretty picture. You can actually get really relevant, applicable data that you can help drive your business. So let me just explain to you, the Artis group have been doing data analytics for quite a while now, and people like Gary here has actually spent time with many customers. And what we've come up with, especially for Dynamics 365, we've developed a dashboard that uses Power BI, and it sits right in your Dynamics 365 environment. So, and it pulls data. You can pull the data, as I said before, from your Dynamics 365 data source or from external sources. But we've got almost a pre-packaged sales management dashboard that you can integrate into your Dynamics 365 environment. And that same thing you can also run on a on mobile device. And here's actually an example straight off Gary's phone, to tell you the truth, is of the mobile app for Power BI, and it actually shows you the visualization. It's usable data. It's not something that some of these mobile apps, it's very user unfriendly, I would suggest, but with these solutions and the fidelity is tremendous. So rather than me rave and tell you how good all this is, what I want to do now is probably hand over to Gary and let Gary really take you through some of the things that are available and that we can look at. So I'm going to switch over now to for Gary, and I'll hand over to you, Gary.
Thanks, Mark. Welcome, everybody. My name's Gary Farrell, and I'd just like to go through some dashboards in CRM and Power BI and how they can help you run your business and do your job better. So this is a pipeline dashboard that we've set up, and it has on the left here some KPIs to show you a general overview of business and how things are going. And on this particular dashboard I can filter. So I'm just going to say mark the top likely or the probability of people closing a deal of 80%. So you can see when I click that all the charts update. And then let's filter that further, and I might say, oh, what's available for this month. And you can see that those charts are updating, and we're always worried about what's going to close today, so we can drill right down and pick today, and we can see those opportunities that are likely to close today. Now at the bottom here we have some links, and these links will link straight back into CRM. That one's the opportunity, and this is the account. So we can drill back into CRM directly from the dashboard and work with that data and try and get that across the line. I've got another dashboard here that I want to show you. So this is the sales detail, and again we have some relevant company KPIs on the left, and I want to show you how it's interactive. We can mouse over different items on the dashboard, and then I can filter it. So say Renee, she looks like she's got the most actual revenue, and if I click on Renee, you can see the charts have now filtered and the KPIs on the left to show Renee's data only, and the opportunities at the bottom here again with those links. Now if I choose SOC, who has a lot less revenue and is based more in the Australasia region, you'll see the chart update with those locations. Okay, so that's Power BI functionality called brushing, and each time you put an object on the dashboard, it automatically enables the links between the visualizations so that they filter each other. Okay, so when it's filtered here on Renee, you can see this chart here is showing that her win rate is nearly half of the entire organization, and that just helps clarify in the sales manager's mind of how different people are going, and you can make decisions based on that type of information. And now I'd like to switch over to a dashboard within CRM Dynamics 365 itself. So this here I wanted to show that we have dashboards within Dynamics 365 with data from different data sources. So this chart here, top left, is a built-in chart straight from Dynamics 365. And then on the right we have an example of data coming from a different data source. Now this one is from Xero Financials, and this is showing our monthly sales for different products. And at the bottom I have two charts that are from Power BI, and this is the Dynamics 365 data. So the data has been taken into Power BI, the visualizations created, and then put on the dashboard back here in Dynamics 365, so the users can get all of their data on the one screen.
So can I ask a question, Gary? Just on the top chart there on the financials. So that's coming from Xero.
Sure.
But as far as that could be any financial application, yes?
Sure.
And
other examples would be MIOB or Great Plains or any on-premise or online accounting package that we can use.
Okay.
I've got another dashboard here I just wanted to show with different types of visualizations from Power BI, and again different data sources. So the one in the middle here is from Google Analytics. So this is analytics coming from a website showing which browsers have been used. The one on the right here is a scatter plot showing data from a sales database, and again here we can see the Xero chart. Okay, so this is a Power BI dashboard, and from here I wanted to show you a feature called Natural Query Language, which allows me to type in this box at the top and have Power BI generate on the fly charts or tables for me. So this is just something to help users if they don't really want to create too many visualizations themselves. So if I just get that off, if I type in, now I know that there's a measure called Revenue 1, and you can see in the background it's starting to make a KPI there, and then I can try this year, so it's filtering it now for this year, and then I might want the chart by account. Okay. Alright, so notice down on the left hand side we have the account number. Of course we don't want to have the account number, we want to be able to choose the account name. So we can just click it here in the list, and now we have our account name.
So I've got another question, Gary, if I may.
Sure.
Are you saying you've spent hours setting that up to define all those, or how does that work?
We can set up the data in the background to pick up certain words that people would use.
But most of this is pretty well out of the box, is it?
These measure names and dimension names are in the data.
Right.
So Power BI finds them when I type them in with the natural language and creates on the fly this chart.
So I take it people that are used to running, are Excel pivot chart gurus, people don't have to rely on those anymore.
Sure. They can just come here, create their own charts and pin them on their dashboard.
Oh, so I can pin that on the dashboard as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I can pin that onto my dashboard.
Right.
Just pin it because I liked it and I thought it's useful, and we can share that with the organisation.
Right.
And then I just wanted to show you on the dashboard again. I'll just scroll down here, and you can see we now have that visualization that was created by typing in a couple of words and pinning it here. And now we can share this amongst our organisation. Okay. Now I just want to show you one other feature in Power BI, which is called Insights. So I'm now in Power BI, I'm looking at my data set, and I can create from here new visualizations, and we have a setup here that looks like a pivot table in Excel, so you can pick the data and the visualizations that you want and create them. And I just want to show you something that says we can have a look at our insights. So Power BI will send your data directly to machine learning in Azure, and will interpret your data, and then it will show you some suggested charts and correlations that it might find in your data that might be useful for your business. So you can see a range of different ones here, and we can just scroll through them and find something that's interesting, and from here we can just choose to pin this onto our dashboard. Now these are insights that have come directly from machine learning. It's looked at our data set and found correlations and things that help us to create these visualizations without having to spend hours creating them ourselves.
So the reality, Gary, is that people that aren't that familiar with knowing what reports they need in their business could potentially use this to get ideas and as I say, understand more what's happening in their business.
Sure, they can get a start with the help of Power BI. It really helps you with those two things, quick insights and the natural query language.
Cool. Very good. Thank you, Gary. That's a very quick 30-second overview of Power BI, but of course this session's all about just a taster, and for those on the call, we would love to talk to you more about it. And as you can see, some of the concepts there, if you don't use something like this in your business, I think you would really not understand what's happening in the business. And I can't stress strongly enough, as I said at the start, a lot of the business owners and especially sales management that I talk to really do not have enough insights to understand what they've got to change. Are their salespeople selling? Are they not? What's happening? Is their products overpriced, etc.? You can actually find a lot of this information out by using this sort of tool. So just to wrap up there, what I'd just like to highlight those next steps for those on the call. And for those people that do not have Dynamics 365, I would really welcome an opportunity to talk to you. And we do have a Dynamics 365 for Sales Quick Start offering in market at the moment, which is a fixed price, fixed scope offering. And yeah, sort of Dynamics 365 for those, we have another webinar on our website, by the way, that you should go and have a look at if you're not familiar with, but it is definitely an enterprise grade solution, and Microsoft are investing a lot of money in this solution, and it's growing every day. Sensational product. So definitely keen to talk to you about that if you're interested. Now, what we've been talking about today, Power BI, we have a quick start offering, and we have different packages in market today, and I do emphasize, if you do not have Dynamics 365 today, fine, you can still use Power BI across your data sources regardless of what they are today, and we would welcome that opportunity to talk to you. If you do have Dynamics 365, well, even better, and we can help you. The idea here is that people like Gary have the experience and the insights and the skills to know how to set these things up easily, and once they're set up, you can then utilize and grow your reporting and your dashboards yourselves. So we have ranges anywhere, by the way, starting at things like $5,000 through to less than $10,000. These are just quick start Power BI packages that you could utilize today to get you in the game. Which includes things like a workshop where, again, people like Gary will sit down with you and understand more about what your business is looking to achieve. And then we set those up, test them, develop the dashboards, and of course train and hand over to you on how you can then go and develop more. So I strongly urge you to consider that and have a look at that. We will be doing another webinar portal. We're doing a series of these, and I did emphasize before, there's a number of webinars already on our website. I would love you to go and have a look at those, especially if you've got no clue on what Dynamics 365 is. But our next one, next month, will be on Dynamics 365 Portal. So this is a solution, basically, the ability to have a portal where external parties, whether it be customers, partners, members, etc. We have different organizations using this solution where they can log in securely straight into your Dynamics 365 environment and have their own records that they update, etc. There's news and feeds and everything else. It's a product, again, bought by Microsoft. It was called ADX Studio. It's now wrapped into the Dynamics 365 offering, and that will be, we'll reveal more next month. So just to wrap up, we've got just about on time there, and what I'd strongly like to say is thank you again for joining us. Very quick, these are short, sharp webinar sessions, but I would love to talk to you further if you've got any further questions on this, and I would welcome a call. There's my details there that you can contact me on, and I'd love to see if you've got any questions, whether it be on Dynamics 365 or whether it be further on Power BI, or both. So thank you again for your time, and hopefully like to see you next month on the Dynamics 365 for Portal webinar.